Captain's log, stardate 3724. Aboard the USS Mia Gazer. Our mission is to explore the newly discovered planet Shakespeare, whose inhabitants arrived 1,000 years ago, carrying only the works of William Shakespeare with them. This mysterious planet holds the secrets of an ancient language, and it is our job to decode it. Mia, our bravest and most curious crew member, has been selected for transport down to the planet with a mission to gather data about this world and its inhabitants. Mia, are you ready? Godspeed! While we await Mia's first data upload, I'll head over to the command bridge and get ready to monitor the action. Mia's first reports are already coming in. Computer, display the data.
Displaying data now.
Oh, wow. Mia's landed in the Othello region of Shakespeare. Drama and tragedy lurk behind every stage curtain here.
Audio message incoming.
Tush, never tell me. I take it much unkindly that thou, Iago, who hast had my purse...
Huh? Computer, translate message.
Warning, translation system error. Unable to complete translation.
Oh no! How will we ever understand the people of Shakespeare?
No worries, Anthony. All you need to do is pause. You already know this language and have everything you need to understand it. Transmitting the pause strategy to your console now, so you can decode the messages yourself.
Okay. Here it comes. The pause strategy. When reading Shakespeare, preview the scene summaries to get a context for what will happen. Act it out. Read the lines aloud as if you're performing. Emotion, drama, and a little bit of a British accent can help a lot in understanding the words. Next, write down notes to translate challenging phrases into more modern language and paraphrase key events. Finally, summarize each scene in your own words to help you capture the big ideas. Hi there. Computer, why is this dog on my screen?
I'm glad you asked, Anthony. The pause dog will help you remember to pause.
That's pretty cheesy.
A little cheesiness never hurt anybody, Anthony. If you can remember to pause while reading Shakespeare, your mission will be a success.
Okay. Well, it looks like it's up to us to pause while we make sense of this language. Let's try it out with Mia's first audio messages from the opening lines of Othello. First, we need to preview the scene summary to get a better context of what's about to happen. When we preview a scene, we want to think about who the key characters are, what they want, and what obstacles might be standing in their way. Let's preview scene 1 of Othello. The play begins in the middle of an argument between Iago and Rodrigo. Rodrigo has been paying Iago to help him win over Desdemona, who Rodrigo wants to marry. However, they've just heard about Desdemona marrying Othello, a general who Iago works for. Iago hates Othello because he promoted another soldier, Cassio, instead of Iago. Romance, betrayal, resentment. Sounds exciting. Let's use the next step of pause and act it out.
Tush, never tell me. I take it much unkindly that thou, Iago, who hast had my purse, as if the strings were thine, shouldst know of this.
Splod, but you will not hear me. If ever I did dream of such a matter, abhor me.
Thou toldst me, thou didst hold him in thy hate.
So we've previewed this scene and acted it out. Now let's write some notes. We can rewrite tricky phrases in more modern language, or even paraphrase big ideas to help us understand the storyline better. So Rodrigo seems to be offended by Iago's rude actions. Iago has been keeping Rodrigo's money, and Rodrigo is upset about it. Remember, from the scene preview, we learned Rodrigo was paying Iago to help him win over Desdemona. But they just found out that she's married Othello instead. So Rodrigo is basically accusing Iago of keeping the money for himself. But how does Iago respond to this accusation? And what notes could you write to help you translate or paraphrase that response? Pause the video to think it over. Iago seems frustrated that Rodrigo isn't listening to him. He proclaims his innocence, saying he would never even dream of pocketing the money for himself instead of helping Rodrigo win over Desdemona. Rodrigo should hate him if he had really done such a rude thing. Rodrigo's response?
Well, he claims that Iago told him he hates another man.
But who is he talking about? Remember, you can refer to your scene previews when you get stuck. Based on this, who does Iago hate? It's Othello. So how would you summarize this section of lines? Think about who you've met so far, what has happened, and why. Pause the video to think it over. To summarize, Rodrigo's offended and upset with Iago for taking his money, but Iago proclaims his innocence. Rodrigo reminds Iago that he claimed to hate Othello. Okay, that's not so bad. This isn't an alien language at all. We really do know this already and just need to pause while we read. Since we've already previewed this scene, let's keep acting out our reading and use the pause strategy to make sense of Iago's next lines.
Despise me if I do not. 3 great ones of the city, in personal suit to make me his lieutenant, off-capped to him, and by the faith of man I know my price. I am worth no worse a place.
What phrases seem important here? Can you write anything in simpler language? Pause the video and write some notes. I noted that 3 great ones tried to convince Othello that Iago should be his lieutenant. Iago knows his worth and believes he deserves the position. Let's keep going.
But he, as loving his own pride and purposes, evades them with a bombast circumstance, horribly stuffed with epithets of war, and in conclusion, none suits my mediators. For certes, says he, I have already chose my officer.
What do you note here? Iago portrays Othello as being too prideful and focused on his own plans. He did not listen to the men telling him to promote Iago, saying that he has already chosen his officer. Okay, we're getting the hang of this. For Iago's next lines, try acting it out on your own. Iago's going to describe the man who Othello does choose as his lieutenant. Pause the video so you can act it out and make some notes. Now, let's listen to Iago act it out. See if you notice anything you didn't catch when you acted on your own.
And what was he? Forsooth, a great arithmetician, one Michael Cassio, a Florentine, a fellow almost damned in a fair wife, that never set a squadron in the field, nor the division of a battle knows more than a spinster, unless the bookish theoric wherein the togaed consuls can propose as masterly as he. Mere prattle without practice is all his soldiership. But he, sir, had the election.
Whoa, so dramatic! What notes did you write for these lines? I noted that Othello chose Cassio, a mathematician who Iago claims has never even participated in battle. Iago seems very upset and annoyed. This unqualified person is the one Othello chooses, and Iago thinks that's ridiculous. Okay, let's see if we can summarize this scene now. In the summary we started, we noted that Rodrigo reminds Iago that he hates Othello. Now that we've heard more from Iago about that, how can we add to our summary? Pause the video while you think. Here's what I came up with. Rodrigo is offended and upset with Iago for taking his money, but Iago proclaims his innocence. Iago is frustrated because he thinks he deserves the promotion that Othello gave to the inexperienced Cassio.
New data incoming.
Thanks, computer. Mia's sent us more information about the first act of Othello. In Act 1, we'll see more of Iago's schemes unfold and meet other important characters like Othello and Desdemona. We'll learn about the relationships and brewing tensions that will set the stage for the drama to come. Where will Iago's hatred toward Othello lead our characters? How will jealousy and revenge shape what's ahead? You'll have to keep reading to find out. Thanks to Mia's early explorations of Shakespeare and our pause strategy, you have what you need to make sense of Othello's world. Remember to always preview the scene, act it out, write down notes, and summarize each scene as you go. Until next time, may your readings be as bold as your explorations. Read well and prosper.
Hey!